Hello. In this little video or PowerPoint, I'd like to just do a quick introduction to the books that are listed in our syllabus, from which we'll select the book we want to use as a literature response book. Just quickly, after you're seeing this video, go to the wiki and find the book you want to read. Put your name there, and that's the way we'll form the groups. Let me just give a quick introduction. The first book on our list is Madman of Piney Woods. I don't know how many of you might be familiar with the author Christopher Paul Curtis. He's a Newbery Award-winning author, and I think his writing is pretty spectacular. As far as I'm concerned, this is almost the best book that he's written. I just have read it several times and love it. It's the story about two young boys, Benji and Red. They're not friends. They live in different towns. But a chance meeting leads the boys to discover that they have more in common than might meet the eye. They become friends, and it's a tale brimming with intrigue and adventure, say the publishers. Christopher Paul Curtis returns to the vibrant world he brought to life in Elijah of Buxton, which is another one of his books. And they say, here's a novel that will break your heart and fill it with joy and laughter too. The second book is Walls Within Walls, and I don't know if I mentioned earlier that most all of these books are on the this year's Elementary Battle of the Books list. And that's another great source of finding good books to read. If you like mysteries, this is a pretty good one. The Smith Fork Kids, there's three of them, two boys and a girl. Their dad is a video game inventor, and he strikes it rich with a big video. And they move from their small, cozy neighborhood in Brooklyn, New York, to Manhattan's Fifth Avenue in a pretty upscale apartment. Then one day they realize that their apartment was owned by a multimillionaire, and who has no one can find his treasure. I mean his fortune. And so this is a mystery it's a fun read. I think there's some really neat themes in it and some good lessons about life. I think it's an excellent book, Walls Within Walls. The next book, The Other Half of My Heart, is an interesting tale. It's the story of biracial twin sisters. Their father's white and their mother's black, and they're twins. One of them is white and one of them is black. And it's a little snapshot from their life in the summer that tests their strong bond and just has so many opportunities to think about a lot of issues that we face in our society. I just love this book as well. Of course, you know by now I love all these books. The next book, Home of the Brave. Is the story about some immigrants from Africa, and one in particular who has a very difficult time assimilating into the culture here in America. He's able to come to America with his mother and brother, and it's just written so well. Catherine Applegate is a Newbery Honor author as well, and it's a shorter book, but I just think it's a real powerful book about refugees in our country and the way they see things and the way they try to assimilate into our culture. Wish by Barbara O'Connor is about a little girl. Her name is Charlie Reese, and every day since fourth grade she's made a wish, a specific wish. We don't find out what the wish is until later in the book, but when she's a little bit older, she's sent to live with a family, uncle and aunt, in the Blue Ridge Mountains of North Carolina. And it just seems to her that her wish will never come true. But then she meets a skinny dog who captures her heart, and a neighbor boy who's in her same class at school. And it's just a fascinating little tale about their lives together and things they learn, and another good book, obviously. Whoops. A Single Shard by Linda Sue Park is a Newbery Award book. It's about a young boy. His name is Tree Ear. It takes place in the 12th century Korea. He's a 13-year-old orphan. He lives under a bridge. His main desire in his life is to become a potter, to be able to make vases and pottery. And that's his biggest dream. And this book is a great tale about how he sets forth to kind of make that dream happen, and the things that he learned along the way. It's a fascinating tale, well written. And then the last book on our list is Echo. Sorry, went a little bit too far. By Pam Munoz Ryan, another award-winning author. This is a fascinatingly written book. It starts with a boy who's alone in a forbidden forest, and he finds himself entwined in a puzzling quest involving a prophecy, a promise, and a harmonica. And then the story ends there and moves forward a few decades in Germany, and a boy in Germany and a boy in Pennsylvania and Ivy in California, and how they're intertwined, and the harmonica and the music kind of is in all of their lives. It's the author or the publishers say it's richly imagined and masterfully created, and I think it is. It's a great read. So pick one which you'd like to read and join the literature response group, and we'll talk a little bit more about that in the introduction. Or I did talk a little bit more about that in the introduction. If you have questions, give me a call. Thank you.